Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you about music school and if it's worth it. I'm going to share my personal experience with music school, what I learned, what I may have done different, and at this point, whether I think it's worth it. I started teaching flute when I was 16. I had a friend of the family, she had a daughter, and asked if I would teach her lessons. And I think I did it for free at first or for very little. Being a musician, at some point in your career, you are going to have to teach music. So if you have a younger sibling or a friend of the family that needs to learn some basic theory, how to read, or they're playing the same instrument as you, I would highly recommend starting on that path right now. Top performers are doing this. You see it all over online now. Everyone's teaching online. Even Christina Aguilera online singing coaching course that she's teaching. So this skill is so important. By the time I was a senior in high school, I had about 15 students, so I had a big studio going. One thing, side note, that I learned as a teacher is just to walk my talk. So I was telling my students, you gotta practice, and actually that gave me more motivation to practice myself. I was also making a nice little income doing that. And so I decided not to apply to a four-year college after high school, but to take a year and go to community college and continue to teach my students. It was great because I took some piano course, I took a music theory course, and an English course, and then I was able to transfer those credits onto my four-year college. Fast forwarding to a year now, I applied to the University of Puget Sound, which is a small liberal arts college in Washington, based in Tacoma. And first of all, I loved my overall experience there. It is a small school, so I got a lot of one-on-one attention from teachers. I played in the orchestra, I played in the band, I played in chamber music. I had recitals. So as far as the actual music playing, I was doing a lot, which I think is so important for growth. The benefits of going to the small liberal arts school was, again, the attention that I got from teachers, the amount of playing I actually did, being able to play in orchestra and in their wind ensemble. I loved the courses I took besides music, history and science and math, and I had great teachers, so that was overall very inspiring. The community you make, the people you meet, right, the relationships that are gained through this experience is, I think college harvests a wonderful space for you to really explore who you are, to meet a lot of different people from different backgrounds. So yes, that part of college is invaluable, and that I would not have been able to go to this school if I did not have financial support from my parents. I may still have been in debt at this point because the private university was so expensive. So now looking back, if I had to pay for this school, I don't know that it would be worth it. I feel like the times have changed so much with the internet being so strong that you can learn so much now online or through other classes at community colleges, and I think this is something you should seriously consider before applying to a four-year music school. Something else I might have considered at this point is taking music business instead of performance. I may have just studied with my flute teacher, having weekly lessons, taken a business course, because being a musician, you become a business. You run your business, right? You run your studio, you run your gigs that you do. So learning any type of business skills that you can is helpful. If music is really your passion and what you want to do with your life, I would contact other musicians. Find people that you want to be like, right? It's always important to have mentors and people you look up to. You could study with your favorite teacher without going to school. You could say, hey, I want to take lessons from you. How can I do this? And You know, if that means you moving to the city where you love this teacher, then that might be an option. I also recommend, though, you talk to this teacher in person. Wherever you're going to music school or whoever you want to study with, it's important that you have a good connection, that you jive, that you can, you know, share your goals and dreams and they feel supportive of it. So depending on what your vision is, what your goal is, music school might not be the right choice. However, if you want to play in an orchestra, and that is your dream, play in an orchestra and maybe solo once in a while with orchestras, yes, you at this point, I feel like in order to get those positions, you need your degree. You need an undergraduate degree and a master's. Actually, most people have masters or doctorates who play in professional orchestras. Something else I would encourage you to learn right now is social media, is, you know, starting your fan page, starting your Twitter account, creating your own brand on social media. Continuing on with my story, I then went to, after my 4-year degree at the University of Puget Sound, I went and got my master's degree. And often your master's degree, there will be large scholarships offered to you. I was fortunate enough to have a full scholarship and a teaching position, which meant I got a small stipend every month because I was helping my teacher at the university. I didn't have to pay for my master's, although I was living in Santa Barbara, which is super expensive. So I think I did need I had to make a little more money just to live in Santa Barbara. So the big questions are, you know, what do you see in your future? What is your dream? And research that, you know, look up other musicians that are doing what you want to do. Ask them how they got there. If you want to play in an orchestra, yes, you may need your degrees. Look up orchestra musicians. Ask them if they're happy. Ask them what they would do different. Ask them what they did to get where they are now. There are many options out there. There's many ways to get to doing what you love. And it might not be the music school route. You know, for example, if you just want to be a teacher, there's the Suzuki training program, right? They train you to be a Suzuki teacher, which is very popular, and I went through training 1 and loved it. I learned a lot at this program. Again, if you want to play like somebody out there, contact them. Say, hey, do you do private lessons? Can I have a Skype lesson with you? And you know, pick their brain about how they got to where they're at. Something recently I've discovered is that I really need to do everything on my own at this point because it's just too expensive to hire a videographer or go to a recording studio. So at first you might have to do this on your own, buy your own equipment, which also can be expensive but is cheaper in the long run. Again, that takes a lot of work, and I feel like, you know, at least in the music school I went to, these kind of courses weren't offered. You should be able to make a video, you should be able to record yourself, you should be able to make a website. All these parts of being a musician in the real life that is so important. Just to share my own experience now, making this video is going to take me maybe 4 or 5 hours. And I honestly have not made a lot on YouTube, so that is not my big money maker. Teaching still has been my bread and butter. Although, you know, and I'm hoping that eventually my recordings and some of the videos will bring in some more revenue. But I just have to be honest that it's still, you know, I'm still not making much. And that's how it goes for a while. Exploring where you excel in other areas and using that in your music career can be helpful. If you're a writer, you can write reviews. If you're a teacher, you know, making sure to practice that, to practice teaching so you get more and more comfortable. Okay, so there's my real life story of being a musician. Would I do it all again? Yes. Would I do some things differently? Definitely, and that's why I want to share this with you. But of course, it's your journey. You learn no matter what you do. I wish you the best on your journey. Leave comments below if you have more questions. Again, I do offer Skype lessons online. Those have been a lot of fun. I have a student in Brazil, in Germany, in Canada, and really enjoy that part of my music life. Okay, be well.